In this lesson, we'll demonstrate how to publish and then later retrieve utilities information from a geospatial data source. And so this is the same data that we extracted and modeled the utilities in one of the previous demonstrations. And so we want to take these gas lines and water lines that we've modeled, we want to publish those into a geospatial data source. And we're going to use a tool which we call Model Builder. In this case, I'm using a shapefile as a stand-in for the geospatial data source. These shapefiles are three-dimensional shapefiles, so they are three-dimensional, but rather than writing directly into a GIS system, I'm using shapefiles here. Now, Model Builder really serves the purpose so that we can map information between our CAD system and the GIS system. And so I've opened here the mapping table that I've got here. This is the one I'm going to use that I called shapefiles. I double click and open that. This is the list of the shapefiles I'm going to be communicating with. There's various settings here that deal with how the communication between the data source works. And then really here is the heart of the system, is for a given table and attributes within those tables, then we map how does a certain bit of information match up between the database here in the left column and the CAD attributes in the right hand column. And so the Model Builder files are really just mapping files for that purpose. So I've set up the mapping file already. I've got my utilities modeled already, and so I'm going to then sync out or export my information into the shape files. It's done just that quick. And then the workflow that we're going to imagine here is that at some later time, perhaps even years later, we are working in the same area, and we want to check first of all what available information do we have in the area. So I've opened a blank file here. I'm going to use the same tool, Model Builder, and in this case I'm using the same mapping file. You don't have to use the same one, but in this case it works. And so I'm going to, this time instead of syncing out, I'm going to import or build the model. This goes a little slower than the export did because we're actually creating the 3D models now, which takes a little extra time rather than just writing the data. And so now we're finished, and so now however many years later we've come back to this area and we've got the best available information from our database as a starting point for our new project.